Hi, we are up to video number 2 and we're going to be doing a deep dive into what we talked about, what you're going to be doing on a weekly basis. So the first piece is the emotional connection, the second is going to be fulfilling physical needs, and the third is researching and finding services for the patient. So let's start off with the emotional well-being of the patient. When a patient is assigned to you, as we discussed, you'll first fill out the care plan and it'll cover different types of things the patient may need from us. As I said, there'll be more information on that later. The piece I want to address here is regarding the emotional well-being of our patients. While most elderly patients are extremely excited to have their physical needs taken care of, their emotional needs are just as important but more difficult to cultivate. It is extremely important for the emotional well-being of our patients that they have a relationship and a connection with each one of you. That is what enables them to discuss the issues that they're having. Without that relation and connection, they have no interest in sharing. So this Medicare program is not just looking to get them, whatever wheelchair or walker that they need. It's looking to deliver a fully comprehensive health process. So you're going to be cultivating a relationship so that they trust you and they feel comfortable and are able to deal with their mental and emotional needs. So let's dive in and look at how this conversation may go. I'm going to read you out a script of what it would sound like to introduce a video conference with an elderly patient, and we'll talk about some of the resistance that you might encounter, how to deal with it, and how important it is to be focusing on it. Here is a sample script of the original time that you're speaking to them. Hi Mary, my name is Jessie. I'm going to be your new care manager. I'm going to be helping you with everything you need. Let's start off by setting up a Zoom call so we can meet face to face. I'm going to text you a link and you just click on it, put in this password, and then we can meet virtually. I'd love to talk face to face so I can get to know you better. It doesn't have to be Zoom, it can be FaceTime or WhatsApp, whatever works best for them. Sometimes it might be easier to call on a house phone so they can follow your instructions on their cell phone and tell you what's going wrong, etc. Now sometimes, like I said, you might have resistance to that Zoom. They might say, I don't know how, I don't know what a Zoom is, I don't have patience for this. So you can answer and say, no problem. Why don't I call you on a house phone so I can walk you through it? Zoom is a super simple way for us to see each other face to face while we're talking. You might even like it and get to see your grandchildren this way. Try to work with the patient in convincing them in different ways that they can use Zoom to see other people in their lives. It's easiest to maintain connection when you can see someone face to face. If the patient absolutely refuses, you can tell them, no problem, let's talk on the phone for now. Continue the session on the phone, but don't give up. Once you gain a little more trust with them, you can try again. So once you've seen them face to face, something that you might say is, hi Mary, I'm so glad we're getting to see each other. Thanks for working on this with me. Just to clarify, we're meeting so that I can make sure that you get everything you need and talk to you a little bit about the adjustment of what it's like of going from nursing home to home. Now some patients might be open to you asking them about their background, their family life, how many kids they get to see, how many grandchildren, etc. Some patients are sick of going through the same information, and then you just need to focus on the here and now. Your job is to maintain a connection and make them want to see you every single week. They should be looking forward to this phone call where they get to talk to someone who really cares. If a patient is hesitant, don't ask personal questions. For example, in the first piece, what we talked about with the care plan, keep on the lookout for anything personal that they mention. Any child, grandchild, any pet, any complaint, jot it down in Asana, and we'll talk about Asana soon. But you can jot it down in the patient file, and you can always refer back to that when you're looking for ways to connect to them. So a question you might want to ask is, what's your daily or weekly schedule like? If, say for example, they say, I like to go to bridge, you can bring that up later and ask them how their bridge event went, etc. You can ask them, do you normally sleep late? Do you normally wake early? Do you interact with any friends or families? Do you do any activities? Would you like to do more social activities? What type of activities would interest you? These are all questions you can use as a springboard for conversation in the future, such as, how did your bridge go? I remember you mentioned one of your neighbors was keeping you up late. What happened to that? Your pet was having some physical problems. Were you able to get him to a vet? Did he seem happier? Many of these patients came from nursing homes, so ask them about their experience. Did they like it? Did they hate it? What did they like or dislike about it? How did they choose that facility? Point is, let the patient talk. Don't stop them. You don't have to go through anything specific. It is important for the patient to feel confident and comfortable. Let them see that you are the person who will listen, whatever it is that they want to talk about. Some follow-up questions that you might want to ask for a weekly session is, hi Mary, it's good to see you today. How are you feeling? How's your week been? Did your son come visit you as discussed? Did the nursing home do what they were supposed to do? Eventually, you may be able to work with your patients on different things, but this piece is really A lot of people are prodding them, asking them questions. You want to be the person who is listening. Next, we're talking about number 2, which is fulfilling physical needs that they already want. So you have to start off by recognizing that you are helping your patient with things that they are requesting and needing. So you might say something like, I see here that Dr. Pinella recommended this. Or in your care plan, you mentioned that you need that. I'm going to look into checking if your insurance covers this item. I'm going to call you back with different options so we can make a decision that's best for you and what the cost, if any, there will be. And I am going to explain to you in a separate video about how you're going to find that out in insurance. What are you going to be doing for that? And that will be in a later video. The third important aspect of your weekly time allotment is research. Don't wait for the patient to bring something up. Meaning you don't have to just wait for them to say, I need a new couch. You can research on your own. What is the patient's diagnosis? Where do they live? Is there any charity organization that they can benefit from? Hobbies that they can develop? The idea of this is that when you call the patient during your weekly time, you're not only asking them how their week went and what they need, but also what you were able to find to help them.